Hi guys, so here we are at Chatsworth. It's really good fun to walk you around actually, because this is my first trip to Chatsworth, so you're really getting my first eyes on this as well as your first eyes and the horses. Basically we've jumped 4 nice straightforward fences, quite big, quite beefy and really decorated, which is nice, you know. You immediately get into the groove of this is a big event with a lot about the event, so hopefully it should get the horses in the swing of it from the start. Here we are at fence 5A, which is quite a substantial brush fence, obviously very narrow, and if we walk a little closer you'll see that it's quite wide, and then we curve round to the B element, which is over here. If you just walk with me, we'll walk the line. Here we are at the B element. Now it's quite a big open nice swing round. You think, you know, not too trappy, but for me I just think it's a little bit clever, you know. Just early on it'd be easy just to knife in and take liberties with this sort of fence, but I think it's a very nice fence and ridden properly it will ride really, really well. If you just come in really close, I just want to show you the inside of the fence here. As you can see in there, this is filled in, so hopefully if a horse decides to bank that, they could. It's very forgiving. You're not going to lose hind legs, you know, bash their stifle. So a real substantial beefy fence to, you know, shock you early on if you were slightly chicken or your horse was, but actually if you're going and your horse is bold, it will ride really well. Fence 6, which on the face of it is a very straightforward fence, but after jumping the 2 brushes that we've jumped that open you up and make you brave and bold, we then come up quite an incline to this raily little fence just before you drop downhill. So it'd be very easy just to come a bit strong to this and just let a horse drop his, you know, stifles on it. So it's really, really important to prepare here. Just set them on the hop, steady, just so you get a good jump over and not flat and a bit quick. Straight downhill to this, I think quite meaty actually, but really, really inviting sunken road. You've got quite a nice little skinny in, ideally 1 stride, down a step, 1 stride, up a step, 1 stride, to a slightly offset brush. Okay guys, so I'm going to walk this, which is about, I think about 6 yards. Okay, so yeah, 6 yards. In a real ideal world, yeah, they'll jump, be bold, take 1 stride, land in the bottom, it's another 6 yards, up, another 6 yards and out. But I don't think that's going to happen really. I think probably they'll end up shuffling 2 in here, then you'll just have to really be positive and motor out. But I like this fence, you know, I walked it and I liked it, and it's the first time I've ever been here, so my impression is good, and I think Blackjack will, you know, he'll eat up this. He's a very, very genuine, bold jumper, and this sort of fence should suit him because it's here to be jumped. You know, it's all here what you've got to do, and if your horse is on side, it should ride really well. Okay guys, we're at the first water fence, which is quite a nice fence, just not landing into water, but if I walk back to where you are, it looks like you are. So, you know, and also beyond the fence there's a lot, so this could be where a green horse might just be looking, and also say if a horse wasn't enjoying himself, you know, this might be one question too many. But again, you know, the feel I get from this course is yes, it's big, yes, it's bold, but it's there to be jumped and attacked. And before I came here, everybody said to me it's a course that suits positive riding and just really get stuck in. And hopefully the horses that I've got here, especially Blackjack, I think he'll eat this up. Here we are at fence 13. Just 2 ducks or partridges in the water. Again, if you've had a nice bold jump in, I think just keep coming round to it and just be positive. You've got 2 identical fences in the water, so basically if you have not a very good jump at the first, you really want to be positive to get out. But again, I think lovely fences to be jumped, just need positive bold riding. Guys, we're at fence 14, we've just jumped through the water. Now this is the first, what I would say is quite a trappy fence, but just the railing. It's a good old-fashioned upright gappy rail. The one stride ideally to a ditch, a couple of strides round to the arrowhead. As you can see on all the flags, there's no black tape, so it absolutely has to go straight. You know, I think this is great. So there's an old-fashioned rail. That is the first fence that I would say you really have to respect in the setup department. A bit like I was saying about the rail at fence, I think at fence 6, it's running down the hill, 6 or 7, just look after them. These sort of fences are a little bit unfashionable now, and this is quite kindly dressed. But for me, it's a rider thing. We've got to set the horses up. There are very few badly built fences. There's far more badly ridden. So I, applaud them for putting in these good old upright rails and making us ride, not just ride badly and then blame the course builder because we've done a crap job, basically. So I think this is a really good strong fence, and again, there to be jumped, but also to be ridden well. As I walked up to it, a very nice little rail, not much above novice height, but as we go over the brow of the hill, you will see we run down to some serious couple of corners. This is really where a course can make all the difference with its terrain. Somewhere like Little Downham or Astonley Walls is very limited because it's just flat, and you can't do a lot more than seem like you're running around the edge of a field. Where if we look down to the corners here, you can see that it would be very easy just to get a big jump out over the rail, run down the hill, and before you know it, you're on them. Hi guys, so here we are at the water fence, at fence 18. Basically quite a nice railing, big enough drop, but again, nice attacking, just a lot to look at. That's what I'd say going to catch horses out, is there's so much to back them off and to look at. Okay guys, so we've come out from under the beautiful archway and swung quite tight left-handed to this quite small skinny, which again, you just need to be bold, have them together, forward planning, forward riding, because it'll come up very quickly. They'll probably be all over the place, wibbly wobbly going under there, especially Blackjack, because he's a bit of a pansy about stuff like that. He'll be snorting away. So just really keep them together between the hand and leg, loads of leg, really positive over the little skinny. Okay, and then as we look further on, there's a step, slight curve round to another skinny. So again, if you've had a bad jump over this, you really need to get it together, give them a slap down the neck and just say, no, come on, keep going, this is fine. Okay, so initially I'm looking and thinking I've got a lot of time to get to fence B, which if they've hit this because they're a bit tired, gives you plenty of time to set them up, get them on the hocks, which is where I think the course design is being really fair. So we'll have a little look. I think Ian Stark's built this, who obviously Ian Stark's a fantastic rider and loads of experience, so he knows what it's like. If we'd have just had the house to the brush, it's been really easy just to get coming on a bit of a wing and a prayer, being a little bit sloppy because you're nearly home. But this rail, I think really this is just about making riders respect the fences, and very much what I was saying at the coffin about these rails, getting them on their hocks, making you ride the fence properly. Then you land a couple of nice strides to quite a decent brush. Again, the ground runs away from you, very close to the fence. Okay, so you can see here again, you don't want to let tired horses get on their head or get head heavy, as I would say, on their shoulders. And I'm sure there'll be a little bit of a drop. So again, you want a nice, good, bold jump, but slip your reins, shoulders back, so they don't land in a heap and peck and you fall off or do themselves an injury. So again, I think this is a clever fence, really all about looking after the horse.